Hey, welcome to Real Talk, episode 190. I'm Todd, this is AJ, and we're back.
Bruh, 190 episodes. We are 10 away from 2 centuries. What is life?
We are 2 episodes from 200 years.
Did I say 2? I meant 10.
You said centuries.
Yeah, 2.
Which is a time, correct?
Yeah.
Clint, look up century. Anyway, as we were saying, yeah, it is crazy, though. From 200 shows, I'm shocked by that as well.
Oh, man. Who would have thought? You know what's funny?
No one would have thought.
One thing that I found funny about this is because on Sundays when we're doing church and after the sermon's over and service is over, everything. Yeah. What's going on?
That's on my shirt. Sorry.
Every Sunday we play Real Talk on the foyer. Well, it's a playlist on our YouTube channel. Mm-hmm. Well, if you don't put it in a playlist, like it'll loop to a random video after it's done. So you have to do a playlist. Sure. Well, this playlist is huge. And it starts from the pilot, so you have to scroll for like 10 minutes to get to like the latest episode, and it's just getting longer and longer. And I feel so bad for everybody who has to do it because you just have to sit there for the longest time.
Yeah.
I'm like, I wonder if it's funny.
No one's doing that, but it's nice that they.
No one's doing that. I'm like, well,
although it is funny to go watch the pilot and watch this one, dude. We were so filled with just joy and the possibilities of life. And now you come to us and it's like we're weathered cowboys that have been out on the range for 50 minutes.
Because
everyone's wondering what this is in my hand if you're seeing the video. This is some sort of fidget thing.
Oh, yeah.
So shout out to Sydney, who will never see this. No. Ever.
Probably not.
She will. There's no probability. She don't watch the show. But she got this for me. I'm not sure what she was trying to imply. But I do know that a lot of people that have watched the show have said, Todd, you don't pay attention. And you're writing and you're doing things. Mm-hmm. So now I will just do this as I listen.
It is. It's oddly satisfying to watch.
Yeah, man. Watch this.
Dude.
Look at that. Oh. Yeah. Anyway. What is it? It's some sort of little...
just messing with the
some sort of little fidgety thing, guys. It looks like 2 key rings together that's with these little spinners on it.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's what that is.
A cool thing.
Yeah. 190 though.
190, man.
We got to get to business here. We got a lot to do, so I blame me. Welcome. What's Real Talk? Opportunity. A moment to talk about life, God, the Bible, and everything in between. Somewhere in the description of this video and or podcast, you will see a link. You can type it in your phone, copy and paste, etc. www.theremnant.life/real-talk. If you go to the bottom of that page, you see submit a question. Click it. It's going to pull up a form fillable box. Type your question, your comment about God, life, Christianity, something you've always wondered. Maybe you're someone that isn't a Christian. You're not, quote, religious, end quote, and you just want to know more about Christianity or Christ, but you've had no one in your life that you can ask that in a safe way where you feel like you'll get a real answer. Here's the place for that. We're not going to be offended by those, and we want to answer those questions. Or maybe you're a Christian, but you're disconnected from the body right now. You're not involved in a church, or you just don't feel comfortable asking these questions to your pastor or someone you know. Maybe it's sensitive, so now you have that opportunity. We don't promise to always have every perfect right answer, but we do promise to take your question seriously, to give you an answer, and hopefully you'll be inspired to find some of them yourself maybe and look in the Bible. And feel free to check the things we say by looking at the Bible.
There you go.
That's it. So I forgot to mention that any question you put into that, I'm so sorry to cough in your ear, by the way, but any question you do submit is completely anonymous. Could not find you if we tried. It's entered into our database anonymously.
Yep, couldn't find you.
So we got a lot of questions today, some good ones.
Oh, yeah, man.
But before that, AJ, I think you have something to share about the Real Talk Real Ones Club.
The Real Talk Real Ones fan club, where you can pay, we have 2 tiers, $15 a month or $30 a month. And what does that get you? It gets you exclusive content that we will give you, we promise.
That's it. Yeah, both tiers get that.
Yeah, both tiers will get that. But if you're part of our second tier of $30 a month, you guys get an exclusive merchandise every single month from us. So shout out to, I believe it was Sierra, Triple B, and Mad Max. Well, almost revealed his identity. And Mad Max, you guys all got a exclusive hoodie, Real Talk.
They're actually really sweet,
and they're pretty cool. You know, it's I've been told that it's very Saved by the Bell-esque.
They're awesome, man. Also, Mad Max said that they were incredibly soft.
Nice, incredibly soft, and
So-
listen, high quality products exclusively for you if you pay $30 a month to us.
Yeah, and I mean, you're going to get that back. And also, you know, you're not doing it just for the merch and stuff. You're doing it because you're investing in a ministry and a show
Yes.
that encourages and blesses other people. And I'm telling you, you know, we joke around a lot and we sort of deprecate ourselves a lot, tear ourselves down. But this show has really impacted people. And I know
has,
some of you
man.
out there that have listened have told us that, and we take that seriously. So this show actually takes money. We would love if some people outside of the church that sponsor this show would dive in and be willing to commit to that. It is a nonprofit. All the funds go directly back in the show. You can claim that on your taxes, all that beautiful stuff.
Boom, there it is, man.
So those on tier 2, you know, Real Talk, Real Ones, you're also going to be getting another piece of merch within the next 2 weeks, and then another one to catch you up. And then at that point, I think we're caught up.
Yep.
And then we're back on track for December, right?
Back
That's
on
correct.
track.
So you'll be getting 3 new things here probably within the next like 3 weeks is the goal.
Oh, yeah.
To catch you up. So I'm really excited. If you like the sweatshirt, I think you'll like some of the other stuff.
Absolutely, man, for sure.
And what
I'm
about
excited.
tier 1, man? What about their content? When's it? Isn't there? We have one ready, right?
It needs some tweaking, but other than that, it's almost ready. So I'm excited to give it to you guys.
Some cameos, some fun things. I've even thought about tier 1. You know, what'd be funny and cool is if we called them in the middle of the show.
That's a
Thank
great
them.
idea. I love
You want me to do that right now?
Sure. This is part of our tier 1.
I'm gonna call one of our tier 1 people right now.
Nice. This is
And here's the
exciting.
thing, we won't do this typically always because I don't know your phone number.
Every single show. Oh man, this is exciting. Who are you gonna pick?
I'm gonna tell you. There's only how many people are in tier 1? I thought there was only one.
Fun turn.
I'm pretty sure.
Fun turn's got a nice little. I believe he's got a spreadsheet.
I do have a spreadsheet. I'm
Nice.
trying to be more organized. I had to take a look at myself and realize
done
the
the video.
truth.
I think we're
So
getting
we
it.
got 2 people in
Hello?
tier 1.
Oh, we got some.
Hello? Is this Krista? Krista? This is Todd Bland from Real Talk, and we're calling you right now live on the show. And there we are. And we just wanted to give you a shout out to the public, to the world, to the millions of viewers that could possibly see this show. That we love you and appreciate you, and you are one of our real ones that we love. AJ, what would you like to say?
Krista, thank you so much for your dedication, your faithfulness to the show. We love you very much.
Do you appreciate how professional AJ just was for you, Krista?
Dude, that was so professional. I think I might cry.
See?
There we go.
How's your day going?
It's been a very awful day.
Okay, well, I'm sorry to hear that.
It's been a very awful
I'm
day.
sorry to hear that. But you know what I like about this?
You guys made it better.
Thank you. And you know what I
Yes.
like about that, Krista, is you were being real.
And that is real talk.
And that's what Real Talk's all about. So, hey, and
That's why I'm one of the real ones.
there we go. Hey, we do love you, though, Krista, and we wanted you to know that and appreciate you, and we're thinking about you. We do hope your day gets better.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure, you know, since I know you, I will reach out to you later and see what's going on. But we love you.
I love you guys too.
Have a great
Have
day.
a good show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
See you, Krista.
You know,
Boom.
That was
happened.
exciting.
Yeah.
was
You know the best part
exhilarating.
about this is in post edit, AJ's going to be so shocked. That showed up
Who's
so
in number?
well.
Who's the second one?
The second one is Fun Guy.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah,
fun guy.
All right.
He's
guy's
the
there.
fun guy,
And
and,
then,
he grows on you.
Mad Max is in tier 2. Sierra's tier 2. Greg is tier 2.
Nice.
And I haven't gotten an update from this last Sunday, but it's supposedly those are the only ones that we got so far.
Okay. Hey, you know what? The real ones may be small, but it is ever growing. So
There
if
we
you
go.
guys are interested, remember,
We're making
$15
another call right now.
$15 a month for tier
You
1.
could get a
30 for
random
tier
call
2.
in the middle of
You
your
get a
day.
random call in the middle of the day. Here we go.
It's ringing. This is very exciting.
Yeah, isn't it?
But also, I really do love Kristen. Man. How cool is that she just took the time to be real even?
It's true, man.
Yeah.
It's true.
He's not. I'm pretty sure he's at work.
I hope he picks
I
up.
think
your
Krista
I
was,
think
too,
he's
which is
about
what I
at
feel
work.
bad about.
He's about off at work, I think.
Look at him. He doesn't want it. He'll call me back though. Guarantee you.
He'll call you back.
This is another one of those. See? You guys hear that? All right, I'm not gonna let his number get. Anyway, you guys saw it. Try to call him, but here, shout out to him. We'll get this stuff going soon. This is
Oh,
fun,
yeah.
man.
This is
good.
awesome. Oh, real
And
talk.
by the
real
way,
notes.
that is not all you're going to get, but we did want you to know publicly we love you and appreciate you.
Absolutely.
And listen, Tier 2 got some love. They're rocking these sweatshirts.
And
Mad
they're
Max
awesome.
came into the gym with it on. It was awesome
Heck
yesterday.
yeah, man.
It's so hilarious that I told you it looked like Saved by the Bell, and you're kind of like, hey, and then 3 or 4 people after that
I
told you.
know.
Including the place that created, like, we created the design, you created the design, but they
Yes.
ended up printing the sweatshirts and stuff.
Yep, and the lady was like, "Huh, it looks like Saved by the Bell." And I was like, "Gosh, dang it!"
Yeah,
I was
buddy.
like, "I've never even seen Saved by the Bell."
Which, that alone is a problem.
Yeah.
Is it surprising though with
No.
all the other things that he hasn't seen?
I'll tell you this. I was in love with Kelly. If you ever know who that is, if you ever watched Saved by the Bell, he's Googling Kelly right now. You're going to see. I had a huge crush on Kelly. Kelly Kapowski. That was her name in the show.
Saved.
I bet any of you out there watched Saved by the Bell, even if it was the later ones. They did like a bunch of them. I wasn't
they
say
did.
I was like a super fan, but I definitely saw the show.
Oh, I know her.
Oh, I bet you do. Why'd I say it so creepily? I'm so sorry. Anyway.
She's very pretty.
Yeah. How old is she now, dude? That
let me
actress.
see.
I bet
She
she's. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna guess 48.
Okay, you're gonna guess 48 years old. She's 48 years old.
I'm a bad man.
Dang, dude.
I'm actually uncannily decent. At
You
doing
are,
that.
man. You're
Oh,
good
yeah.
at guessing people's ages.
Anyway, that was something.
It was a good show so
Anyway,
far.
we'd love to have you. Where do you go to do this? Hey, you can go to Guys, I'm gonna say this. Now
Yeah.
I am disappointed about this. We have still not put this on the website so they can go and it's a direct. Like the real ones get their own pay. We need to get going on that. And
That's
I'm saying this
true.
right now on the show. We have a lot going on, I know. But the crew's got to step up on that. We got to get this going. So let's get on that. But in the meantime, you can go to www.theremnant.life/give. There'll be a drop-down box. If you click the drop-down box and go to Real Talk, enter in the 15 to 30, or it could be above, you will be entered into that show. Then what we would like you to do, and in the meantime, and I know this might seem odd, is we need you to go to www.theremnant.life/real-talk, and for now, soon we'll have it up on the website. I promise you guys. Eventually, that's going to happen, Lord willing. And then use the question box to give us your address. We're not going to stalk you, but that's what we're going to use to send you your merch.
Oh, yeah.
Particularly if you're in Tier 2. If you're in Tier 1, we need your email address
So we can send you.
so we can
videos and
send you
stuff.
all that content. So just use that to do so. If you have any questions, you can message us through the Facebook page, through the various social media, or
Oh, yeah.
even using that link.
Awesome.
There we go. There we go, man.
Well done, Tate B.
Hey, you did it, my friend. Oh, hey, guess who's calling me? Austin, fun guy.
Fun guy.
Hello?
Hey, what's up?
Hello, fun guy Austin. I want you to know something right now. We are calling you live from Real Talk episode 190 to let you know that you are appreciated and loved, and thank you for being a part of our Real Ones fan club.
Awesome.
So I got AJ here. He's got a little message for you as well.
Austin, I love you very much, my man. Thank you so much for being a part of the fan club, and thank you so much for taking the time and your resources to support the show. We love you, man.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, I love you guys too. I really appreciate all you guys do. I really believe in the ministry behind it, and I really look forward to watching this episode live now. Not live, but
Hey, you know what? You will get to do that, hopefully. How's your day been, man?
It's been all right. I mean, I've had some really good thoughts and conversations
Nice.
just with God, and just a lot of my thought process on like how really truly special like life is. So I'm just kind of like processing and dealing with on myself, and just not going into too much details. Like it truly is a gift from God, like how we live and like why we're here, and just life is just so special, and just I'm learning to not take moments for granted. You know.
Dude, you're not going to believe this. But that, first off, that's awesome. But secondly, it's crazy because that fits in with a discussion AJ and I had before the show.
It's true.
So
Very similar.
You kind of ministered to us just now. man.
Absolutely.
So thank you for encouraging us. I'm serious. I'm not even making that up.
Yeah.
So within the last 45 minutes. So thank you so much, dude. We want you to know you're special. We appreciate you. We got more for you. You know, the other content's coming. But we want you to know that you are one of only 2 people that we have ever, I think, called.
I think so.
So appreciate you.
I feel really honored and special by that.
You should. No, we love you, dude. Appreciate you. Hope you have a great day.
You too. Love you guys.
All right, see you, man.
Love you, man.
Bye. There you go. That's what we do around here.
Fun guy, Austin.
I guarantee that's gonna be interesting. I guarantee you that they're gonna be able to. They heard all that.
I think so. I think
These mics are pretty. Was it fairly clear?
Not as good as Krista's, but it was still pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah.
nice. I'll probably try to.
That's
boost it a little bit,
shocking
too.
because I had to use a social media one to get a hold of her because I don't have her
Oh yeah,
contact info. But
that's
I
interesting.
called him directly. Anyway, that was an interesting moment, huh? Look
What
at
a cool
us.
thing, man. That was
Yeah.
fun.
We
That's
just-
almost something I want to do more often.
Yeah. Well, we'd have to have friends.
We'd have to have friends. We got to have some
Donate.
real ones. Gosh dang it. That's hilarious. But yeah, man, that was cool. You know what's funny? This reminds me. This is super random. But that reminds me of, and I don't know if they still do it, but there used to be an option whenever we would go live, whether it was on a Sunday or if it was Real Talk Live. They would give certain people that say it would say bring them on camera, and I always wanted to do it so bad because I was like, what does this even entail? What does this look like? I've never seen it in my life, but I never did it clearly because I didn't want to send the invite and then someone's randomly on our screen. So,
It's exciting, man.
oh yeah, so I don't know if they still do that anymore, but it was just that's what that reminded me of.
I'm gonna tell you the truth. I didn't hear anything you said.
That's okay.
What did you say? Listen. I'm gonna make this clear. That was the only time I've actually done that to where I didn't hear a single thing. What did you say?
I was talking about how, like, when doing
Yeah.
the calling thing, it
Yeah.
reminded me that there used to be options. And I don't know if there still is, but when we used to go live on Sundays and then also go live on Real Talk Live, it would pop up an option.
I don't want him to see the can.
Oh
Free
my
advertising.
gosh.
Anyway, go on.
It's ridiculous. No free ads.
What were you saying though?
And so it would pop up an option to it would say like put this person on camera. Like, it
Oh,
would
yeah,
give you that
yeah, I do
option.
remember that. I
I
do remember
never
that.
did it because I was scared to do
Well,
it.
we
But I was
didn't know
always
what
so
happened.
curious. Exactly. But I was
Yeah.
always so curious. But doing that and calling people, that's what it reminded me of.
Yeah, you know what? You just remind me that it would be cool. But secondly, you just remind me that would be something to do in the future. Go ahead. What were you gonna say? They don't do it anymore.
I don't know if they do or not, but I know there's specific like platforms that are like have like really nice like software for
Gotcha.
that to bring people on camera with you and all that.
We should probably address the fact that we didn't go live last week. AJ was horribly ill
Oh yeah,
on Thanksgiving Day.
Yep.
on Thanksgiving.
He
Day.
ruined Thanksgiving.
I did.
So
ruin
no,
it.
just kidding. But he really was very, very ill.
It's true. I went to my family's houses and hardly did anything. I felt bad because they were all like, "Yeah, it's exciting to have family around," and I was like laying on a couch away
Just not
from
feeling
everybody.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do feel bad. I joked with him, dude. This stuff happens to you a lot on holidays, and I feel bad for you. In that. I really do. I
It's
know I gave
weird.
you a hard time, but it is kind of sad.
Yeah, man. My past two birthdays, even I've been
Yep.
sick on both my past two birthdays. I mean, like sick, like laying down, not even doing anything, just laying.
You need
there
to
'cause I
start
was
like
sick.
taking like Mucinex right before and like
Just-
vitamin
just-
C.
just
Just
take-
like get ready.
like a
Just
week
take
before a
medicine
holiday.
before, just
Yeah.
because I know it's gonna come. That's ridiculous. But yeah, thanks for addressing that because I would have
man.
forgot to do that. So yeah, sorry that we did not go live last week, guys.
Yeah.
We will be back this Thursday at 8:30.
Hopefully. So,
Lord willing.
yeah. Anyway, moving on. AJ, I'm supposed to ask you, according to the show notes here, to
Okay.
catch me up in your life, man. How's things going?
It's been real up and down. You know, you mentioned it. You know, you mentioned it to Austin when we called him earlier about that we had a really good conversation. We did. Tears were flowing for me.
My eyes got allergies in them. Anyway.
And it's one of those things, dude. Where like, I know I mentioned it on the show. I think it was I think it was 2 weeks ago on 188. But I talked about how like when you do things like when you're actually doing things, like reading the Bible, praying, and actually being intentional about it, can change your life. And I remember being encouraged in that episode, and in this one, I'm encouraged by the fact that I'm noticing it, but I was also discouraged in the sense that like, okay, I stopped doing it again. So it's just annoying. But what's cool about it though is it's the opportunity to finally, one thing that you pointed out to me in that conversation we had was that, I've kind of been in a little bit of a funk for a while now. I've had my ups and downs. Like I've been in good places and I've been in bad places, but in general, I've kind of been in a funk. And at the end of the day, it's because I haven't been wanting to choose to live outside of myself. And all it takes, and you even said it, all it takes is even if it's just one day. Sometimes all it takes is just one day to turn everything around. And so for me, I want today to be the day where I turn it around. Where I'm living confidently again in the Lord, and I'm actually following Him, and I'm focused on others and not myself, and I'm not just in my emotions, waiting for things to change. You know, I'm relying on the truth of what God tells me, who I am, and what His promises are. And I haven't done that in a long time, man. And that's probably why I've been in this funk. And like, so you know, all it takes is a day, like you said. You know, and that can change everything. So I want today to be that day.
It's really good, man. That's really good. Do you feel more hopeful in general?
I do, man. I feel, you know, after that conversation we had, you know, it started, you know, if I'm honest, you know, I was kind of hopeless, you know, and that's kind of where I've been emotionally. I've had that kind of that hopeless feeling of like nothing's gonna get better. You know, I'm just gonna be stuck in this same loop that I'm stuck in. And like by the end of the conversation, I was like, you know what, man, there is hope. You know, I don't have to sit here. You know, it's my choice. You know, you even asked me, okay, because you asked me, what are all these issues you're having? And I told you all these issues, and you said, are all those in your control or out of your control? And I said, they're in my control. And you said, that's great. And I was like, you're right.
Yeah.
It is great, because then I can make those decisions. So to choose, like I can choose to change them. So it's like, man. So I know you know, to all you who've listened consistently, I don't know if it's a broken record or not yet, but like, man, today is the day that I want to choose that, and I'm gonna choose it, and you know, things are gonna be different, because man, I'm tired of that. I'm tired of just living in the emotions of life, because it's so inconsistent and it just lets you down all the time. Like you can't trust it. You know, you just can't trust your emotions. And that's what I've done. And you even reminded me, like, that's kind of how I've lived my entire life. Is I've lived most of my life just relying on emotions to get me through, whether that's my own value or whether that's to push me to do something. And like, it's never been actions. It's always been emotion. So, you know, choosing action, man.
Yeah, the thing, I'm a pretty emotional guy too, man. And the thing about emotions I've had to learn over the years, emotions are good. You know, God gave us emotions. We're even shown He feels emotions in some way, right? Whatever it looks like for God, because He says things like love and anger and jealousy and all those kinds of things. And the jealousy is jealousy in itself is not all bad, by the way. That's a different topic. But the thing I've learned about emotions, man, is, you know, you can't trust them.
No.
Because they can lead us astray, and they're really more of a barometer, right? Meaning they sort of show us what's going on in our hearts. They're showing us what's going on in our life. They're useful for that, right? So when I'm sad or I'm down, it helps us to figure out what's going on, right? Because it makes us look at our life and go, okay, something's going on. Something's off. So, you know, emotions are beautiful and they're such a blessing, but they can't run your life. Mm-hmm. Because here's the thing, naturally our flesh is going to want things contrary to God, right? In God's way. And because our emotions are a part of our flesh and they're not fully sanctified, meaning they're not made holy, right? There's parts of us that are still being transformed to be more like Jesus. They just sometimes they just lie to us. And I think the biggest thing, I don't know if you feel this way, the biggest thing with emotions is when you're sad, right? Or you're down, is that it makes you feel like that's permanent.
Oh, dude.
You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
So feelings feel so permanent.
Yes.
Feelings feel, that's funny. But it feels so permanent.
It's like tattooed on me.
Yeah. And that's the lie, right? Because we know, and that's when you always talk about, you know, suicide. When people do that, they're really hurting, but what they're doing is making a permanent decision based on a temporary emotion. Because even though it seems like, you know, even if it went 2 years, right? And again, I've been there, depression, all those kinds of things. When you look at the big scope of your life, it's not the majority, and there's hope, right? And I think that's the beauty of God's promises. Is not that we're not going to have moments of sadness and have moments of depression, but that He's coming, right?
Man.
His mercies are new every day. So it's cool to hear you say that, man. I think I can hear it in your voice. There's a little more hope.
Yeah, man.
So hopefully that gives people encouragement out there that are struggling too.
Yeah, if you're out there and you are struggling, like just remember who God is. Remember who you are in Him. You know, and I'm right there along with you. I'm right there with you. Who, you know, maybe you're struggling to remember that. I'm with you, and just remember that you can cling to God's word. You know, one thing that Todd has taught me, and that I try to cling to is Romans 8:1. There's no condemnation in Christ.
Amen.
You know, you're not what your mind is telling you. You know, you are renewed. You're a new creature. So remember that. But
it's good, man.
Yes. But how about you, Toddy B, Todd B? How are you? What's the life of the highway of life treating you?
I'm trying to think of how to put it into words, man.
I understand.
I'm in a place of because I'm trying to really put. You can tell this is real because I have not prepped this.
Yep.
There's hesitations.
Raw and
I'm
real,
buying
man. That's what we
time.
do.
I'm buying time. I'm in a place of acceptance and a place of, man, what is the word? Like, I just have to walk. You know, a lot of times, this is how I feel. You guys maybe relate to this. There's people watching. Let's say relationally. This is an easy one to use in, but it can be applied to anything in life. Say that you have, you know, you're in an argument with someone you're in a relationship with, whether it's brother, sister, mom, dad, wife, husband, whatever. And, you know, it takes two to tango, right? So if you're having a disagreement, you're having a fight, you're having a break in a relationship, right? A tough time in any sort of relationship. Both people probably contributed to it getting there to some degree.
Yeah.
Because we can only control ourselves should we look at that. But at the end of the day, this is what I've always thought. Say that both people help to get in this hole, and the hole being the problem in the relationship.
Yeah.
Someone has to be the one to say, we got to get out of this. And this is how we're going to get out of it.
Yes.
And what I've found out a lot of times in life is, despite who I am, I want to, sometimes my control can come out in the fact that I want the other person, I want to make the other person get out of the hole. I want to force them out. And the problem with that is, you know, they might be yelling at me and saying, well, it's your fault we're in this hole. Maybe it is. Maybe it is partly. And I'll circle around where I'm coming from here. And so in those moments, I'll feel guilty or ashamed maybe, and I want to like force them out. Okay, well, here's how we get out, and I want to make them get out. And the thing about life is then you can end up getting mad at them because in that moment, all you're thinking of is, why aren't you letting me pull you out of this hole? Why aren't you doing what I'm telling you to do to get out of this hole? And, bro, I broke this. This isn't, I can't believe this is possible. Look what I did to this thing. How did that even happen? Wow. Sorry, guys. I got distracted by the fidget thing. So, and when you do that, it's hard enough to control my own life. So when I put myself in a position that I'm carrying the weight of someone else's decisions,
That gets heavy.
it gets very heavy. So
Very heavy.
You have to let go of that. And that's so scary, man, in life and in relationships, whether it's friendships, whether it's romantic relationships, whether it's family relationships, whether it's marriage, because that's why loving people is so scary, because they can still, people can choose to not want to restore that relationship.
Man.
Right? And when you let go of control of that, it's a scary thing.
Very scary.
But also, so a lot of times for me, I don't let go of control, and I end up being grumpy and mad because I think somehow I can make it happen, and you just can't do that. And then I can fall into the trap of, then I resent the person, or I go the other way and I blame myself. I blame myself. This guy's clicking, driving me mad. I blame myself for getting us there, and then it's almost like you just sort of condemn yourself.
Yeah.
So, Todd, why are you saying all this? Maybe it's just today, and I don't say this enough because I'm afraid it's going to go away, but today is a day that I've let go of a lot of those things outside my control, and I live more free, and I'm more loving, and I'm more kind, and I'm more hopeful. And it's not just one relationship, as I'm saying this, guys. I mean, certainly there are relationships that are in my life right now struggling.
Yeah.
But just, I think, in life in general. And a lot of my stress and anxiety comes from trying to control things that I have no control over. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Does it really? You guys know my life. Would that make sense to someone outside of my life?
I think so. I do have a question.
Yeah.
Do you think that, so when you were talking about how you can tend to like still like you want to hold on to like that weight still, do you think it's because you know it's going to hurt either way and you'd rather just try to control it? It's because it's because it's going to hurt whether you control it, it's still going to hurt, but if you let go of control, there's still the possibility of hurt anyway.
It's so perceptive, and we do that all the time, and I do that a lot in counseling when I'm counseling people.
Yeah,
is the biggest thing is most people that are in control, and we all are controlling in moments. We want to say certain people are controlling. Everybody has controlling moments.
Yeah,
but that's the illusion of control, is that it will hurt less. So say I'm in a relationship, and you know people like that. They sabotage their relationships.
yes,
And the reason most of the time, the reason they do that is deep down, they certainly love that relationship. They want it so bad, but they think it's going to end anyway. So they think if I make it end, it's going to hurt less. That is an illusion. It's going to hurt regardless.
Man, dude.
And I think that's very perceptive of you, dude. And yes, I think for me, there's a part of me that says if I see it coming, if I know it's coming, if I can make it, I can make the person do something that will prevent this from hurting both of us. That's not real. That's not life.
Yeah.
And a lot of the crashes in my life, since we're kind of on the idea of control,
Yeah.
a lot of the moments in my life when I've sort of went off the path or I've created a mess come from moments when I try to control things instead of, following God's direction for my life. Because a lot of times when you're controlling, not all the time, but a lot of times you're trying to do it outside of God's way. Because you don't want to ever admit it this way, but when we sin or we do things, we're really saying we know better than Him.
Absolutely.
And that's not true. And even if you're doing it the right way, you can't so you go back to relationships, it takes two people to get into let's say there's a marriage that's going through a rocky time. Yes, one person may carry 90% of the junk that's got them there.
Yeah.
And you only carry 10. But the problem is, even if that person fixes their 90, if you don't fix your 10, you're still only 90%. You're not 100% healed. You get what I mean?
Absolutely.
So you've got to be willing to look at your 10%, and you've got to be willing to accept the fact that you can't control whether they fix their 90. Whew. But a lot of times we will justify not fixing our 10% and not doing the right thing because they're not fixing their 90 in our mind.
That's so good.
You get what I mean?
Yeah, that's really good.
And that happens in anything in life, whether that's at work. I can't tell how many times I've had people say,
Man, that just forms excuses.
yeah, man. Well, think about this. There's a lot of people in our life, okay, and I'm not going to call them out, who have said to me, well, I don't work at my job. I don't do a good job because they don't care anyway. They don't do a good job, so why should I? It's the same mindset,
Yeah.
right? And this is going to sound harsh, but that's kind of a loser mindset, and we all fall into it sometimes because it's saying, my only standard for being a better person or being a good worker or being, a good man, it's based on whether or not the people around me are being good. So it's like I don't really have a standard for my life. I don't have a moral foundation of my life that is independent of everyone else around me.
Yeah, you're a chameleon.
Yeah. So
Wow.
So all that to say, I'm in a place right now, and I'm like you, man. Like I'm scared to say this because one of the things I do that's weird is like I feel like part of the reason I don't ever say good things is I feel like I've had a lot of hurt in my life. People have had more than me, but the more I feel like when I start to get excited or I think something is good or peaceful, that's when it gets crap. It becomes crappy. So there's fear there too. So I hesitate to say these things. But right now, man, I'm going through some stuff, and I'm sad. I'm sad at some relationships that are damaged that doesn't look very hopeful right now,
Yeah.
if I'm honest. But I'm also kind of at peace because I know that regardless of whether I contributed my 10% to that hole, I know I'm trying to fix mine. And if they don't choose to fix their 90, I have to let that go. Or if it's the other way around, maybe it's my 90 and their 10. I know I'm fixing my 90 and they're not fixing their 10. And you know what? That's all I can do.
Man, dude.
And does that mean if that relationship fully breaks or ends, that I'm not going to be sad? No, I have to accept that I'll still be sad. But I can go to bed at night knowing that I did everything I could to follow Jesus in that.
Yeah, dude.
You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And that is And
And I don't mean to sound holier than thou.
I don't think you are, man. I think that is truly, like you said, that's putting it in God's control. That's releasing control. That's really good, dude. I hope y'all are listening because that can apply to so many things in life, dude. I love that, what you just said. That's really good. It made me think, and that's why, it made me think of the chameleon idea because, we would rather settle for culture around us than, like you said, have our own standard, and that can even go for even just being a Christian. How often do we settle for the world's standard instead of Christ? And then you wonder why we are miserable or why we're struggling. So I think what you said is really wise, dude. Very wise.
And it's scary. I get it because, the position I'm in, I get it. It's scary because of what could happen. I talk to a lot of, I get the honor of speaking to a lot of married couples, speaking into marriage. And that's scary.
Yeah.
Let's just talk about marriage now because that's one of the relationships, whether you're married or whether you want to be married, right? Relationships consume a lot of our thought life. So I'm so sorry to cough in here. I think that I can't tell you how many times fear in the ways that it shows self-control and sort of this battle if I were to boil down, this is in my personal experience, the main issues that I see in marriages is people acting out of fear.
Yeah.
And how they respond to that. Do you know what I mean? Because everyone is trying to feel in control so they hurt less.
Whew.
And then that happens in, marriage is just the one where I think it becomes a lot more evident because you're forced to deal with a person all the time.
Yes.
But it can happen in any sort of relationship. So that's kind of where I'm at, man. I didn't mean to go on a monologue there, guys.
No, I love it, dude.
Right now, today, at this moment, I'm thankful for the hope and the joy in the midst of that I feel. And we got to talk about some kingdom stuff, man. It was a good reminder for me, too.
Yeah.
Pre-service. And even what Austin said, what a weird, crazy coincidence.
It's true.
Some amazing things happening at our church that sponsors this show. We probably had, I think it was probably a new record for attendance that day.
I think so.
Ironically, I wasn't there because I was sick, which the lie can be like, see, Todd, if you're not there, then people come. But then they didn't know I wasn't going to be there. So
Exactly. They didn't know.
So, yeah, man, I'm trying to think of anything else. Oh, boy. What else? I guess that's pretty much it. Is there anything I'm missing?
I don't think so, man. I mean, I know you usually give people your weight loss journey update.
Yeah, I'm still at 20. So last week I had what I call a stomach attack. I have IBS, which is probably TMI for you guys, but I have stomach issues. At least that's what they've told me.
Yeah.
So I'll have these kind of what I call stomach attacks that cause a lot of pain, and sometimes I'll throw up and like get constipated. So when those things happen, I will get definitely TMI. I will gain weight. So I was like, crap, I gained weight, but I'm back down to where I was. So, I'm been kind of stuck at the 21 pound mark.
Yeah.
But I'm not giving up. Still feel pretty hopeful for that.
You look good, man.
Thanks, dude. I appreciate that. Yeah. Flag. We've been updating you on that.
Oh, yeah.
We lost
Flag update.
Though we were winning.
Yeah.
And we lost. I'm terribly sore because I got mauled a couple times.
Yes.
My knee and my back and my things I didn't even know were hurt.
And now you're feeling them.
Uh-huh. And I got to go work out tonight.
Day
I'm dreading
later.
it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. 2 days later.
2 days later.
Yeah.
That's right. Man, it's been
Which
2
we have
days.
a bye this week. I just got the message.
Oh, we do?
From old Cowboy Kenny. Yeah, so we don't play this weekend.
Oh,
Gives us
interesting.
a little moment to heal.
Nice. And
So we're at a place we need to take a poll. Should we play again, guys? Should we play flag again and try to redeem ourselves as we come into this season, or should we say, ride off into the sunset? Give us your vote in the comments or
Nice.
using the link. We really want to know.
we really
Help us decide.
We really want to know if we should play or not.
Oh, I also found I'm rambling. I guess it's real talk. I found a couple movies I'm very intrigued to watch.
Really?
So I found this random video on social media that said movies that I think it said, this is gonna sound weird, movies that embrace masculinity
Oh, cool.
for men. And I saw there's 5 of them, and 3 of them I had never seen. And again, I'm not giving my my seal of approval here. I haven't watched these, but they intrigue me. One of them is called Nobody. Have you guys heard of this?
No.
So it is written by the same guy who wrote John Wick.
Huh.
Now, what's intriguing about it, and he actually says that these 2 movies take place in the same universe, but you wouldn't know it. So the premise of this movie is this guy, he's like an accountant, and it's the guy from Better Call Saul. You know that guy?
Yeah.
The main guy, Saul?
Mm-hmm.
We've watched Breaking Bad.
Oh,
Saul.
yeah.
So in it, the premise, all I know is he's a dad, an accountant, and he's kind of like apparently depressed and accepted that thing we talk about all the time of like, this is life.
Yep.
And his house gets broken into, and he sort of doesn't stand up for his family, and so I don't know what happens. But something breaks in him later, and he decides, I'm not putting up with this anymore, and I'm going to help my family. So he goes and starts taking care of business to get his family back. And like, help his family. But here's where the weird part is. Much like John Wick, he's got some secret abilities here that nobody knew this accountant had. And I don't know what they are. But I'm very intrigued because I like movies that's another thing I think I need to do more, unrelated. I think I need to, remember the fun thing? Okay, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to watch that movie. That's my fun thing. Reminds me of the other thing we were going to do, the poll, where people can tell us, and I'm going to roll a dice.
Yeah.
We'll get to that in a second, because I haven't been having fun still. But I'm going to watch this movie. You guys want to watch it with me?
I'm down.
All right, we're going to watch this
I'm
movie
definitely down.
tonight, Lord willing.
Mm-hmm.
We'll watch it. And I'll tell you guys how it is. That's something fun. But I've been wanting to get back into, before I ever wanted to do ministry, I don't know if I told you guys or preach, I wanted to, this is so corny, but I didn't know I wanted to be a pastor or whatever, because as you know, I didn't think that would ever happen.
Yeah.
Because, I don't fit in the world. But I wanted to be a speaker who traveled and spoke to men about their hearts.
Yeah.
Because I was sort of inspired by the book Wild at Heart. One of the things I realized is I'm a lot more inspired when I am in touch with my heart, man, as a man. you know, for lack of a better word, what he calls my wild heart, right? The masculine heart. And when I live out of that, man, when I live free, I am such a better man. Even though it's scary to some people, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not as controlled, I'm such a better man. And so that's kind of what led me even to this movie is like, cool, man, I want to watch a movie that inspires my masculine heart. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Probably sounds corny.
No, it doesn't sound corny. It actually even reminds me of Wild at Heart when he talks about having people feel the weight of who you are.
Yeah.
When you're living inspired and you're living as a heart, living out of your masculine heart, man, it's going to be weighty to some people, but that's just, they have to deal with that themselves. So, yeah, don't feel like weird or bad to want to do that, because that's you living with the best version of yourself as a man. And some people that is going to rub people the wrong way, but it's going to happen. That's just the weight of it.
And you know, dude, that's so convicting. You don't even know this. This show is going off the rails a little.
I love it.
I actually just brought this up last week, 2 weeks ago, that I feel like that's what God was sort of telling me, or like the Holy Spirit was telling me that I need to do again. Because remember I told you that when I'm me, so we had a kind of a church meeting last week.
Yeah.
And I had to start out the meeting by saying, hey guys, I'm not mad.
Yeah.
Because whenever I'm not a clown, people take me wrong. And I think what really happens in those moments is because I don't want people to have to deal with the weight of who I am, I just try to become this clown.
Yep.
It's funny. But when I do that, I'm very miserable because that's not really who I am. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, for a long time, you were like, you have to deal with the weight of what I am.
Yeah. And now, but I haven't been doing that as much. And I think that it was weird that you brought that up because I feel like that's sort of what I need to do, because when I'm not doing that, I'm not a good leader. I'm not even a really good man. Because even if I think I'm doing it to love people, deep down I'm doing it selfishly because I don't want you to dislike me.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
100% get what you're saying.
So that's funny that you said that. But yeah, that's a lot of rambling. I'm so sorry, guys.
No, man, I love it. This is a great episode. I love it.
Oh yeah, no, you don't know, but God has used this whole moment to touch my heart in a way that should not have been able to happen in this episode at all. Just listening to you guys talk has really helped me process. Well, actually, not necessarily. I haven't fully processed it, but has opened me up to think about things that I wasn't thinking about at all today. I was actually just walking around life and going, I'm going to be joyful. Even though I don't feel joyful, I'm going to be joyful all the time. I'm going to be toxically
done a
joyful.
good job.
Yeah, absolutely. You've done a good
God
job.
goes, okay, you're going to be joyful, but you're also going to learn something today.
Dude, that's
You
kind of
gonna
encouraging.
learn.
Thanks for sharing that, man, because sometimes I do feel like I'm rambling. But there it goes. That's me not being who I am.
Yep.
And you know what's funny? A lot of times, you guys tell me this, right? And I'm not saying this for those in the show. I don't know this. But you guys will tell me, like, when I speak, it's good. You
Absolutely.
like that's a gift. But that's an area that I'm actually insecure in, that I sometimes won't do.
Has that always been the case for you?
People that have really hurt, yeah, man. Since I was a kid, I was told I'm weak because I feel or I talk too much.
Yeah.
And even recently, people that are really close to me don't want to hear my heart, and they tell me that I talk too much. And then it ends up strengthening that lie. I'm about to get emotional right now because then I become this, and you guys have seen it. I'll become this really hard guy. And it's so funny, man. Dang you for bringing that up. I feel like I end up, that's the false me.
Yeah.
So like when I was a kid, I learned, okay, well, you say I'm weak or I talk too much. Well, I will become harder and than anybody. And sometimes I think I still do that because I feel like when I talk too much, it's feminine. I'm effeminate. I'm girly. That sounds so ridiculous, I know, but then I end up becoming this really hard guy when deep down that isn't who I am.
Yeah, man.
Because I feel like I ramble. And it's funny because it hits me in a place that, like, people that see, it's hard for me to even say that I'm gifted. I always have to say people say. But it hits me in a gift that God has given me the ability to speak into people's hearts. But that's a place I'm insecure because that's the place that gets attacked by people.
Man, dude.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's exactly what the enemy wants, dude.
Yeah.
Man, he wants you to be like insecure in a gifted area because he knows that it's what you just told me earlier. Because he knows it's not just pulling you down; it's pulling others down because it's not allowing you to bring others up. So, man, that's wild.
Yeah. Yeah, and he was doing that to you too. So
Yeah.
I didn't even think about it until you said that. So
Well, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry that happens.
That's
Dude,
all right.
because like you are a gifted speaker, and you do inspire people, and like you are a leader, man. Like
that's really
and
nice.
when you speak, people listen, even though it doesn't feel like it. You know, people don't always put it into
or
know.
they hate me for it, but yeah. Yeah. Well, and that's the same for you guys, man. You both you guys, your gifts too. You know, even you being joyful, dude. That is when you are like Clint. When he's the real him, he's a joyful guy.
Absolutely.
He's a fun guy, but he thinks that that's weak because that's what he's been told. And the same with you, man. Like you have an ability to inspire people. Like we joke about it. People like you. And like, even though it's frustrating because it makes it feel like I'm the mean guy, it's so cool though because you're able to speak into people because I don't know how to say it, man. You just make people feel safe, and I think that's a cool thing too.
Thanks, man.
So anyway, that's where I'm at. Thanks for hearing me, guys.
No,
both in the
I
room
love
and
it,
those
dude.
out there.
It's a great episode. If y'all don't take something from this episode, you ain't listening. So,
Thank you. Unrelated, since you brought this kind of a lighter topic here, we decided that in order to help me, it was kind of, I don't know who brought this up. Do you
it
remember?
was Norman.
Norman. Yeah, Norman. Shout out to Big Normie.
Big Normie.
Norm, what's up, Norm? I love that guy. So people call him Norm all the time. Like I have never one time called him Norm. I always call him Norman. I say his name. He's also the only Norman I've ever known in my entire life.
I think me too.
So anyway, Norman, our brother Norman, he suggested this, and it was a good idea, and we kind of took it and added a little bit to it. What are you about to say? Why are you about to laugh? Don't do it, bro.
Just the amount of
Normans.
times we said Norman.
Yeah, what if that's the episode name?
There we go.
I'm gonna write it just in case. Can you imagine him seeing that?
Yeah, it's just called Norman.
That's all it is. Dude, I think I might do that because it's so funny.
I'm in.
Anyway, if he's seeing this, he'll love it. So he had this. Dude, that makes me laugh just imagining him seeing that.
Yep.
So, hey, it's just a random name, whatever. So he had an idea.
Yeah.
He said we should he told us to write a bunch of things down and then just like roll a dice. He actually just told me me personally. He said, Todd, you should write down a bunch of things that you can do for fun and then roll a dice. And either every day or every week you do that thing.
Yep.
And I was like, that's a cool idea. And then we said, what if because I said, I don't know what's fun. What if we had you guys out there listening, the Real Talk fam, the Book Nook, all right?
Yep.
The Tube Rubes. I'm so sorry. There's only so many things that rhyme with tube.
Squad.
Yeah, the pod. That's the one I missed. The pod
Squad.
The pod squad. You guys help us out by giving us a list of things. And so this is terrifying. This is terrifying what we're suggesting.
This is scary what you're about to
So
suggest.
we want you guys to help by giving a list, giving us ideas for things to put on the master list of fun. And on this list of fun, every week, and we may do it live, I think we said, right?
Yeah.
We're either going to do it on the podcast or live. We are then going to roll a dice. Well, Todd, what if there's more than 6? Well, here's something to blow your guys' minds. So there's more than a 6-sided dice out there. There's 20-sided dice.
Yep.
So we'll make, it depends on how many we get.
Yep.
We'll make a master list of fun things to do. And they can be like, guys, make them fun.
Yes.
But I'm willing to do it.
Absolutely.
Right? Like, don't put jump off a cliff and die. Like,
That's
that wouldn't be
ridiculous.
fun. But put stuff on there, and then every week we'll roll the dice. Maybe AJ, Fun Turn, me. We'll take turns. We'll roll it, and whatever it rolls on, I have to do.
Yes.
By the next show.
Dude, this
So
is
if it happens
awesome.
on a Thursday, I have
And
to do
we
it by
can,
Tuesday.
we can do a video reviewing what it was like.
Yeah, that's a great. Yeah, there you go.
Awesome.
So
I love this.
help us out. Use the link or the comments below. What should Todd do for fun? All right, the Todd Fun Challenge.
Yep.
What should Todd do for fun? It can start minor, like watch a movie, and you could be specific. You could be like, watch this movie. You could put knitting, crochet. It could be play this sport. It could be whatever.
Bridge jumping.
Oh, man, that's terrifying. It could be
cold. Don't do that.
walking. It could be polar bear swimming.
Nice.
'Cause I'll do it. Anything you want, and then hopefully, if we get some of these before live, we'll do it right then and there.
Boom.
Right? Fun Turn looks so angry. Right? He must be in his head. So that's what we're gonna do. Should we start off by having you guys give something to begin with?
I love that idea.
All right. What's number one? Just one thing that we can put on the list of fun. Anyone?
Let's see. Man, we're not the right people to ask
Yeah,
this
no,
question
because we're not
to.
fun. What do you
Not
got?
very fun.
Huh? Laser tag. He brought
Laser
this
tag.
for some reason. Fun
This guy
Turn wants
loves
me to go
laser
laser tag so bad. I like
Yeah,
it. No,
this is something
I
that,
like it.
ironically, I want you to come do with me because those guys were so fun. I mean, some of them are tough.
No,
guys, but
it's on the list,
it's
bro.
So fun.
Number 1, laser tag. Number 2,
What's that one place called?
I don't know.
Oh my gosh. It's like an arcade bowling alley and
Crazy pins.
yeah.
All right, crazy pins.
Fun
See,
fact:
dude,
I used to competitively
it
bowl.
feels like even the idea of me going to crazy pins feels so selfish and wrong. That's what's messed up with
Dude,
me.
crazy
and fun.
pins is a blast.
I know, but that I immediately was like, well, I'm not allowed to go do that.
Yeah, it's
All right,
crazy.
that's one more.
One more.
What should I put on there? Or I guess any of us, yeah.
Hiking.
Hiking, there you go. Hiking.
You know, it's in the winter
No,
time.
dude, that would be a good time to go. Hiking. You know what I'm going to put?
Mount
I'm going to put
Everest.
something, I'm going to add one. I'm going to put camping, even in the cold.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice.
Camping. All right, guys.
This is
So we've got
exciting.
the first 4 things. Help us out. I'm telling you right now, if this show comes out tonight, which it may come out late tonight or tomorrow, what does matter?
Yep.
Either one. If we can get it out tonight, it'd be great because I really
Yeah.
want this list. I'm excited about the prospect of fun.
Oh yeah.
All right. Crap, we're running. All right, moving. I'm so sorry, guys, for going long.
No, I love.
What we
it.
want to do. So Todd's month of fun, the list of fun. Help Todd have fun.
Oh yeah.
Help Todd have fun. This is a
we're-
campaign.
Yeah, it'll be fun. All right, no pun intended.
Now, I have to mention this real quick because
Okay.
I promised him I would.
Okay.
But my cousin, his name's J-Rod. J-Rod's a big fan of the show. He listens every single week.
J-Rod, what's up, brother?
He had 2 questions for you specifically.
Oh no.
They're very light, but he was very curious. First off, is a hot dog a sandwich?
We've discussed this.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm just going off my gut right here, right now. No. Because when I think of making a sandwich, hot dog never comes to mind.
All right.
Now,
Cool.
by the letter of the law. But is the hot dog between 2 pieces of bread or is it resting on 1 piece of bread?
I don't know.
Anyway, good question. 2?
Second one is cereal a soup?
J-Rod, you almost made me laugh, brother, because that one is, I've never heard that in my life.
Yep, he
Is cereal a soup?
Yep.
Golly, man. For some reason, it makes me feel
I saw him at
gross.
Thanksgiving. He goes, "You got to ask these for Todd." It's like, okay.
I'm going to say cereal. Again, if I think of making a soup, cereal doesn't come to mind.
But by the letter of the law, is cereal a soup?
Because there's liquid, and you're putting things in the liquid.
Is it a soup?
Or is it a stew?
Oh.
I don't know.
You know what? What is the definition of a soup?
I don't know.
Fun Turn will be on
Fun
that.
Turn's on.
Just type soup definition. Because this is a great. I've never. I want you to understand. Your cousin is that what you said?
Yep, my cousin.
He has. I have never in all my years heard that question asked. I've heard the hot dog.
Yep.
But I have never heard that question asked about cereal soup.
Yep.
That is hilarious. It made me almost spit my drink out. What's the definition, Fun Turn? He's.
Okay, so there's 2.
All right,
There's the first one is a liquid typically made by boiling meat, fish, vegetables, etc.
He just said typically though.
in stock or water.
Okay.
Number 2 is a substance or mixture perceived to resemble soup as an appearance or consistency.
Wow. I guess if you look at that one, number 2, it would fit, wouldn't it?
I guess it would.
You know the thing about a hot dog? If it's not a sandwich, what is it?
A taco.
Now that.
That's what I said.
Well, I found something. What is classified as a soup? Soup is primarily a liquid food, generally served warm or hot, but can be cool or cold. That is made by combining ingredients of meat or vegetables with stock, milk, or water. Hot soups are additionally characterized by boiling solid ingredients and liquids in a pot until the flavors are extended from broth.
So I think where that definition it would not be is it says the meat vegetables.
That's true. That
However,
involves the meat and
The
vegetables.
second definition from the first one, where it says liquid and items or something, resembling. Yeah.
Yep.
Now, oatmeal I would consider a soup,
Yeah.
right? You're boiling, but I guess it's not. Yeah, it's a vegetable. Wheat, right?
Yeah.
Is wheat a vegetable?
I don't know actually. Or is it? Or is
It's
it
a grain. Well, I mean, what is a grain, though?
Isn't
Is
it?
its own
Isn't
thing?
it grain a grain?
Man,
I don't know.
my life's been just so shocked by all
J
this.
Rod, you wrecked our
Well
lives.
done. Well, big shout out to him. That's cool. He supports the show.
Oh, yeah, man.
Help me know what
Watches
to do
every
for
week.
fun, man. What?
Yeah, so he watches every week.
That's
He loves
awesome.
it.
All right. Well, we should probably get back to some questions here. So we got a few questions. They're good ones. I'm excited. Let's get them going.
All right.
Number 1. What do you got?
The short answer, this is a big deal, most likely because of FFA kids. The short answer is that grains are specifically the seeds from grasses, while vegetables can come from almost any part of a variety of plants. So they're technically different, but they're basically the same. Also, that is the most
wonder if
annoyed
scientists-
individual telling a definition I've ever heard in my life, and I absolutely love it.
It's hilarious.
It's interesting. Okay. Number 1. Great questions, J-Rod. Number 1. J-Rod, is that what you said?
Yep.
Nice. Number 1. Remnant dudes. How did you start your day today?
How did I start my day?
He's getting us every time.
Oh, yeah. I woke up and kind of just got around and then I kind of had a panic attack about the day. Honestly. I was very in my own head. So now tomorrow, I'm hoping to start it much differently. So, how did I start my day? Started it with just getting around and then kind of I was in my own head, so it wasn't good.
I just told AJ this story. Sorry, not to, but that I put my Bible right beside my bed.
Yep.
And I had it. If you both probably knew this for the longest time, trying to make sure that I would do that first, right? And I didn't. Man, what did I do? I feel like if I'm honest, man, my first thing of the day was pretty much a battle.
Yeah.
Like I woke up and I was kind of in a battle immediately with an individual.
Yeah.
Or disagreement, and that stinks. I did pray after that, but yeah, I didn't start my day off great, I would say.
Yeah, me either, man. Definitely didn't.
I mean, well, I didn't check it at first this morning, like my phone, but I did end up checking it, which then drew me into sort of a,
Well, it's good that you didn't check it off like first thing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's improvement.
Yeah. Thank you.
Because I know for me, I'm like, whoop, immediately wake up and check my
man.
phone, so.
We got a lot of questions.
We
better keep
have
moving.
so many.
All right, you're up, dude.
All right. Oh, I'm on a separate page.
Yep.
Remnant dudes.
Think these verses today.
I think
It's
these
a long
verses
one
today.
for you. I know this is a challenge.
Yep, here we go. It says, as he entered a village there, 10 men with leprosy stood at a distance crying out, Jesus, Master, have mercy on us. He looked at them and said, go show yourselves to the priests. And as they went, they were cleansed of their leprosy. One of them, when he saw that he was healed, came back to Jesus shouting, praise God. He fell to the ground at Jesus' feet, thanking him for what he had done. This man was a Samaritan. Jesus asked, didn't I heal 10 men? Where are the other 9? Has no one returned to give glory to God except this foreigner? And Jesus said to the man, stand up and go. Your faith has healed you. It says, that's Luke 17:12-19. That's the NLT version. It says, only one returned to thank Jesus. Let us thank Jesus every day. Also, if you hear some background, it's rain. And some thunder.
That's scary.
That's some thunder.
You know,
So yeah, only one returned to thank Jesus. Let us thank Jesus every day.
That's good, man.
Yeah.
That's a powerful verse too. I think it's so indicative of even modern Christianity. You know, we so often, or it reminds me of the seed that falls on the soil. You know, when Jesus gives that parable. I just had this talk with someone the other day. They were asking a question about Hebrews 6.
Yeah.
You know, when that seed falls on the soil, people are like, oh, it proves you can lose your salvation. It's like, it doesn't. It proves that the seed's there. But then what happens? We begin to focus on the trials of our life or all these things that happen, and we walk away.
Yeah.
And or we get what we wanted, right? We get what we wanted.
That,
How many people you know that like turn to quote religion when things are really bad, and as soon as they get good, they walk away? And I
It's
think
true,
that's
man.
So indicative.
man,
of,
that's makes me think of myself and what I do. That's really good, really convicting.
so it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
It
absolutely.
shows we can focus sometimes on the blessing more than who the blessed giver.
Oh yeah.
Number 2. Found this article and thought it was cool. Did you pull this up? It says this is from crosswalk.com. This Christmas, Tim Allen says the new Santa Claus series will highlight religion in Christmas. It's pretty cool. Did you check it out? Or is it on here?
It's on there. It's the first
Well
article.
done, kid. Well done.
Yep.
Got
Actor
my color
King Tim
coordination and
Allen
everything.
recently shared that the new Disney Plus series, The Santa Clauses, will focus on religion in Christmas. In a recent interview with The Wrap, Allen explained that the original script of the new series is going to have a religious focus, but he decided that it should explore Christmas's Christian roots. So, very interesting. Let's see here. Now, it says, according to FaithWire, he also knows that fans will not see how the series handle religion until the final 2 episodes, which is interesting. I'm not really sure what that means.
Also,
fully,
it's a
but-
new series. It follows up on the first 3 Santa Claus films, the first of which appeared in 95. He reprised his role as Scott Calvin, a man who becomes Santa Claus. The first 2 episodes premiered on Disney Plus last week.
Huh. Interesting.
Interesting. Allen recently faced backlash for a line his Santa Claus character said in the new series. When asked what's bothering Santa, he responds, saying Merry Christmas to all has suddenly become problematic. Then, of course, some filmmakers started being whiny about it. I'm sorry.
Yep, saying how they thought it was weird to put that in a kids series.
Yeah, but it's not weird to put in kids series like
I was
trends, all the I don't know. It's just
absolutely
odd.
putting
it's just
all that
odd
in
the
there.
way the world works, man.
yeah. So,
But I think that's cool.
me too, especially coming from Disney Plus.
Yeah, honestly, man, I wasn't going to say that, but that is a good point. It shocked me as well. We'll see if it stays up or if they pull it down. Also, I saw. You guys ever seen the movie? It's old, dude, even before my time. Willow, the movie Willow.
It sounds familiar.
It's a fantasy show, and they actually came out with a new series for that too. That's on Disney Plus. Cool.
Interesting.
All right.
Let's see.
So yeah, you thought it was cool.
Yeah, I think it's cool, man. Shout out to Tim Allen. Like, sounds like, I don't really know where he is as far as like faith or anything, but it's pretty cool that he's, they were willing to explore the Christian roots of Christmas, and for him, to like be part of the representing that. It's pretty cool. So let's see here. Next question, Todd. Mm-hmm. Was Tamar outcasted after her brother Amnon made her lay with him, or what happened to her? Was she unable to marry after that?
So that story's pretty wild, man. These are the children of David.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
They're half siblings, and so Tamar and Amnon are half siblings. They have same dad, different mom.
Okay.
And she's incredibly beautiful, and so Amnon finds himself attracted to her. Now, again, we're all like, that's so weird. They may not even been raised together very often.
Yeah.
So they see each other. He's very attracted to her. Like, she was incredibly beautiful. He then tells his friend. He actually doesn't know what to do with it. So it kind of starts in like, oh, okay. He talks to his friend and asks him what he should do. And instead of like, man, I don't know what to do with these feelings. And his friend says, hey, pretend to be sick. And we come in and say, hey, tell them you want your sister to bring you some soup, pretty much. And then take her. So when she comes in to get soup, he essentially ends up raping her.
Wow.
Now, after he rapes her, she actually says to him, please don't do this wicked thing, right? Don't do this evil thing. After he rapes her, it says that Amnon hated her because it was never love, it was lust. Now, before you say that, that's happened before, right? People end up doing stuff sexually with someone and they end up resenting the person after because it was never love. It was just, and then you almost hate them because of the shame you feel.
Man, dude.
So what ends up happening is their other half-brother, I think it's Absalom, ends up killing him. Killing the half-brother. Getting revenge for Tamar by killing Amnon. And then he runs off, and he has to deal with, he's exiled. And then, by the way, Absalom ends up trying to take David's throne later on.
Jeez, man. What a time that was.
It was really wild, man.
Holy cow. What book is this from? Is this a Genesis?
Samuel.
Oh, Samuel?
Sure
okay.
It's Samuel. Second Samuel, yeah.
Second Samuel.
Right now.
Man.
Apparently, trying to look here to see some possible outcomes because they don't give a direct answer, which is what I thought too. So I started looking into this.
Gotcha.
One is some say that she died soon after Absalom returns from exile, and that's why he throws down the gauntlet against his father. There's a small clue in 2 Samuel 14 that gives a brief genealogy of Absalom, which mentions in passing that a daughter named after his sister. Maybe he just loved his sister, or is it symbolic? The second option is that she lives out her days quietly in the house of Absalom, grieves until the death of her brother in the civil war, and is ultimately brought home to the court of David so their father can care for her. This is the happy ending version. The only problem is that the narrative doesn't tell us directly this happens.
Wow.
3, Tamar ends in anonymity, just like every other woman who gets a raw deal. It's tempting to have a callous that she's kind of viewed callously. We don't know.
Wow.
We don't know exactly what's happens to her, and I think that's sad because we aren't given directly what happens to her. But the story itself is really sad because one decision, another man's sin leads to another man's sin, which leads to another thing. It hurts her, right? Because it defiles her.
Yeah.
Because she was a virgin too.
Man.
So what ends up happening to her, man, in this one decision, and it's a big warning, and it's sad too because it's one of those things where it's like, well, why did God allow that to happen? Well, we could say that in general. Sinful things happen, man.
Yeah.
And, I don't know. Lust leads, because remember, sex within the confines of a marriage between a man and a woman is a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Right? In the way that God tells us to do it. But lust, the inevitable end of lust is destruction, typically, of something, right?
Of something, yes. Man.
So, we don't know exactly what happened. Most likely, because it was known, she probably didn't marry.
Man, dude.
Because she would have, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Defiled, kind of. We don't know, though. But we don't know. But we know this, that it sounds like she loved God and that God loved her and that, he would have taken care of her. We don't know what the details are. but I'm going to look into that. Great question.
Yeah,
I love
absolutely.
it's so cool that people are reading these reading these books and really thinking about what, instead of just, because a lot of people gloss over that.
It's
Instead
true.
Of, you could tell this person was really reading the story because like, what happened to this person?
Yep.
You know? So moving on.
really
It's my
good,
turn.
man.
Number 3, warning to Christian parents. Video games, TV, phones are not a good source of education or entertainment for your children. There's hidden influencing messages can be hidden in these sources. Boy, that's true.
Yes.
Train up your child from the Bible. Talk about your biblical ancestors. I like that phrase, biblical ancestors. Talk about past saints and their lives lived for God. Listen to a great sermon preached by Pastor Tate, thank you, called Liar, Liar, which is the beginning of a series. Romans 12:2, 1 John 2:15-17. You want to pull those up, Clint? 12:2, 1 John 2. We must teach our children about Jesus. If we don't teach them, the world will teach them, and Jesus will not be in the picture.
Man, that's once again, this is just such a good reminder and like a warning of like, listen, we have to be willing to influence our children's lives. You know, I'm not a father, but I know that, you know, I want to be a father one day, and I know that, you know, I cannot allow the influences of the world to dictate how they grow up and how their ideas are formed.
She was never married, by the way. I just remembered Tamar. So sorry. She
No,
never
go
married.
for it.
But go ahead. Yeah.
So, you know, when it comes to, you know, the video games, the TVs, the phones, you know, that has so much of the world intertwined into them that, you know, it makes sense that those are going to be forms of entertainment, forms of education that are not going to be healthy.
That's a fact, man.
What's cool is the hope, though, is that those can also be used for the good of Christ. And that's, you know, when, you know, I wouldn't want to cut all those things off necessarily, but I know that I would want to use them for the good of the gospel, to show them Jesus. So, you know, because just like what we do here for Real Talk, you know, social media needs it. You know,
good,
we're
man.
here. You know, we're invading the phones. We're invading the TV.
For the kingdom.
That's right, for the kingdom. So, like,
Can't wait for those.
you know, would I want to take those away as a parent? No, but I know that I want to use them to influence for Christ. So
It's good, man.
And those verses are Romans 12:2 is do not be conformed to this age,
Amen.
but be transformed by the renewing of your mind so that you may discern what is good, pleasing, and perfect
So good.
will of God. And then John 2:15-17. This is all being read in HCSB.
Yeah. First John, right? You looked up First John.
First John,
Yep.
yeah. 1 John 2:15 and 17. Do not love the world or the things that belong to the world. If anyone loves the world and world loves for the Father is not in him. For everything that belongs to the world, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, the pride of one's lifestyle, is not from the Father, but is from the world. And the world with its lusts is passing away. But the one who does God's will remains forever.
man,
good.
remains forever.
That's good, man. So, yeah, I agree. I shared this a few weeks ago about the little kind of hidden thing that seemed harmless in a baby, in a literal toddler video.
Yes.
And I know it seems small but we say that, you know, even at that age, man, it's in there.
Yep.
The stuff's in there. And it doesn't mean those people are evil. It just means they don't realize. The bottom line is God tells us you're either a son of God or you're not. You're a son of the enemy, right? I mean, that's the way you're living. All right.
Next question we got is a lot of scripture today. It's pretty cool,
love
man.
it, yeah.
Can you explain this verse for me? It's 2 Corinthians 10:12, and this is HCSB reading. It says, "For we don't dare classify or compare ourselves with some who command themselves, but in measuring themselves by themselves, comparing themselves to themselves, they lack understanding." Yeah, what does this verse mean?
Well, first of all, anytime I talk about a verse, I tell the guys this, you know this. You always have to look at what's the context of a verse doesn't exist on its own, in its own universe. It's within the context of a section, right?
Yeah.
And then a book. You have to know what the author is saying in general. So if you just read that and you just view that as a verse in and of itself, you're like, who's themselves? Does that mean anytime you compare yourself to anyone? Remember, the issue we're having here, if we go back to the 2 Corinthians in general, he kind of talks about, again, he reminds them of the truth. He's saying that some people are kind of pulling you away from Christ, and then he starts telling the actual gospel again. Well, then he starts talking about he's having to sort of compare himself because what's happened is there's these super apostles that are showing up in Corinth, and they're kind of saying, Paul's not here. He's weak. They were well spoken. They were confident. They were charismatic, and they were starting to lead the church in Corinth astray. So even though they were saying they were Christians, right? They were in the church, but they were sort of starting to teach different things and also to tear down Paul.
Wow.
And that's in the section in 10, he says, in chapter 10, it says, "Now I, Paul, make a personal appeal to you." This is verse 1. "By the gentleness and grace of Christ, I who am humble among you in person, but bold toward you when I'm absent." So essentially what they're saying, this guy talks big when he's away from us, but when he shows up, he's weak and small. So apparently Paul wasn't very like commanding in his presence in person.
Yeah.
So he says, "I beg you," and we've talked about this before, Paul says, "I beg you that when I'm present, I will not need to be bold with the confidence by which I plan to challenge certain people who think we're walking in a fleshly way." And that's when he says, "We'll demolish arguments and every high-minded thing that's raised up against the knowledge of Christ." And then goes to verse 7, says, "Look at what is obvious. If anyone is confident he belongs to Christ, he should remind himself of this. Just as he belongs to Christ, so do we," meaning the apostles, the leaders, the church. For if I boast some more about our authority, which the Lord gave for building you up and not for tearing you down, I'm not ashamed. So he says, I don't want to come there and tear you down.
Yeah.
You know? I don't want to seem to you those I'm trying to terrify you with my letters. He says that. For it said, quote, this is what they said about him. His letters are weighty and powerful, but his physical presence is weak and his public speaking is despicable. So that's what they're saying about Paul. He's responding to this. So he's saying such a person should consider this. What we are in the words of our letters when absent, we will be in actions when present. And then he says in verse 12, "For we don't dare classify or compare ourselves with someone who commend themselves." I'm not going to compare myself with someone who's talking big about themselves.
Yeah.
Right? Because he says, "But in measuring themselves by themselves and in comparing themselves to themselves, they lack understanding. We, however, will not boast beyond measure, but according to measure the area of ministry that God has assigned to us, which reaches even to us. For we are not overextending ourselves as if we had not reached you, since we have come to you with the gospel of Christ. We're not bragging beyond measure about other people's labors, but we have the hope that as your faith increases, our area of ministry will be greatly enlarged, so that we preach the gospel to the regions beyond you, not boasting about what's already been done in someone else's area." So the one, and then he quotes a verse, "So the one who boasts must boast in the Lord, for it is not the one commending himself who's improved, but the one the Lord commends." Listen, he's essentially saying in that verse, he's like, I'm not going to compare myself to these guys who are talking big and bragging about what they do.
Yeah.
They're not the ones that I'm comparing myself to. I'm following God. They're just comparing to themselves. They're saying, look at me, look what I did. Look, I'm better than this person. When the truth is, Paul's saying, I live my life to be commended only in the Lord. I don't care what you think.
Yeah.
I am judging myself by what God wants me to do. And even if they're doing good there, great. Like when I'm not there, that doesn't mean that I didn't have a part in that. That doesn't mean that it's not going to help the kingdom. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
So I know that's really wordy. Great question. So Paul, this whole section is Paul's having to push back at people who are essentially preaching a false gospel and essentially saying, don't listen to Paul. And they're saying, look at us. We're so much better than these people. I speak better than them. And Paul's like, listen, I'm not comparing myself to someone else. That's not why I'm doing this.
Yeah. So that's really good, man.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Thank you for asking that. Sorry it was wordy, folks. There you go again. See? I apologize anytime I talk.
You don't have to.
I do that a lot,
my
man.
Friend.
Oh, it's me. Okay. What do you seek? AJ, here we go. What do you seek first at the start of your day? What does the Bible tell us to seek first?
Honestly, man, it's kind of what I was talking about earlier, when we were sharing our lives. I think a lot of the time I'm just seeking, like, feeling. I'm seeking emotion a lot of the time. I'm seeking to feel good. Whether that's, whether I find that in God or I don't, I'm still seeking to feel it. Now, what does the Bible tell us to seek first? It tells us to seek first the kingdom of God.
Amen, brother. Nice.
Which is literally on my phone.
Punched him in the face.
Yep.
With truth.
Yep, it's literally on the background of my phone. You can't read it.
Seek first the kingdom of God, and all these things will be added to you, right?
Yep.
You don't worry about the things. Yeah, that's convicting, man.
Oh, yeah. So
it's good. I don't have anything to add to that. We're told, a lot of times I think we seek first our kingdom, right? What we want.
Ooh.
And whether that's food, sleep, whatever it is we're craving.
That's right. Just something to make you feel good.
And God's saying, hey, don't worry about all that. I'll take care of that. Money. I can't tell how many of my brothers and sisters in Christ worry about money, dude. That's all they think about.
That's so true.
Anyway. Good stuff, AJ.
Yeah, man. How many action words do you find in these verses? What?
This question.
My child, listen to what I say and treasure my commands. Tune your ears to wisdom and concentrate on understanding. Cry out for insight and ask for understanding. Search for them as you would for silver. Seek them like hidden treasures. That's Proverbs 2:1-4.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
8.
Yep.
That's a lot of action. Which
God's all about that
I was
action,
about to
dog.
say, yeah. What is faith? Faith is of action. So
Yeah, faith is what you believe in action. So that's good.
nice counting. Nice counting.
Heck yeah. Thank you. AJ.
Yes.
Jake Paul versus Andrew Tate seems to be a lock. Who you got? And for those out there, Jake Paul and Andrew Tate are both essentially social media influencers.
Yes. I'm gonna take. You know what, man?
Meaning they're going to be a lock to box, apparently. They're going to be boxing. All right.
Yes. I just want Jake Paul to lose so bad. I got Tate. I want Tate to beat him, man.
I'll give you a lowdown on the whole situation. Andrew Tate. So age means a lot in boxing. What people don't know is I love boxing. I love boxing. I don't talk very much. It's kind of like I've been whatever has happened in my past. I keep a lot of my passions very close to me. So here's the breakdown of this fight. By the way, Andrew Tate is 35 years old. Age means huge things. He's past his prime, supposedly. He doesn't train as he trains. Andrew Tate trains pretty well. Like he still is. He's very buff. He has a good
he was a
physique.
world champion kickboxer.
He is a world
Sorry,
champion,
go
but he
on.
was a kickboxer. That's what they're going to tell. Which not much changes. They're both
Yeah.
all strikers.
It is different, though. I get it.
Jake Paul is 25 years old.
Okay.
At the max of his testosterone. He's learning. Now, here's the other side. Andrew Tate has the experience over him by far. 6 fights doesn't teach you much. Andrew Tate fought over 76 fights.
Yeah, he fought killers, bro.
And kickboxing is also known to be more ruthless than boxing at
Oh,
times.
yeah.
Especially since boxing has, since the era of Mike Tyson and around that area, and the heavyweight era, has decreased quite a bit.
So are you saying you're taking Paul based on...
The only other thing that I haven't looked into yet is weight class. And
That's a
what
good
they're gonna
call.
do. If it's not in Andrew Tate's weight class, this is going to be a hard fight for him.
I
This is gonna
definitely
be a very
feel
hard
like-
fight for him.
yeah.
It's gonna be really rough. Just because of my experience knowing inside of what a
He fought at 198 pounds. They're about the same.
if it's the same weight class, I think Tate can pull it off.
Yeah.
Now I think these fights are rigged.
He's also 6'3".
Which how tall
I
is?
think Jake Paul's like 6'1". So Jake Paul is fighting weight. He fought at cruiserweight, which we've talked about.
yeah.
He weighed in at 187. So dude, they're gonna be at the same.
Which is going to be
My
pretty good.
guess is they're gonna fight at what, 187
Yeah.
probably. They're gonna
Interesting.
meet in the middle.
So Jake Paul has a 76-inch reach, which is his arm length
Yeah.
for people who don't know out there, and he is 6'1".
Yeah.
So Andrew
Yeah.
Tate does have the height advantage. It's whether Tate that also comes with a reach advantage because sometimes it
Full
doesn't.
tail of tape. I love it.
Yeah.
I think Jake Paul, as long as this fight isn't
Yeah.
super rigged, he's biting off more than he can chew because as long as Tate prepares for this fight as though he was
So you
preparing
think
for a
they
world
wins?
champ,
Yay or nay? Tate or Paul? If you gotta put money on the line.
I would put money on Tate. I think he's the safer bet.
Okay. But you're saying it could go the other way because the age and all this
It
stuff.
could definitely go the other
I'm
way.
gonna tell you right now, I can whip some 25-year-olds out there right now. I'm just being honest with you.
Oh, yeah.
You know, me being younger than
The
Tate.
only thing that worries
But,
me is the fact that he did beat Anderson Silva.
Oh, yeah, agreed.
Now-
But Anderson still was 48
I was
years
gonna say,
old, and
correct.
definitely,
Age
if you
difference.
saw him, was not in the best shape I'd seen him
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
However, I'm with you, man. I'm gonna take Tate for the
Yep.
same reason Clint said. He fought 70 some times at the height, the best kickboxers in the world. He was a world champion.
Yep.
I agree with you. It is a different sport. He will tell you that himself. I'm gonna go out. I'm not even saying skill wise. I'm gonna go with experience here.
Yep.
And I'm gonna say that Tate wins based on experience. I hope he does.
I hope he does too.
I will say this too from watching the tail of the Tate, watching Tate fight. Tate wasn't always a kicker. He wasn't always, he was in kickboxing. He definitely used his knees to block.
Listen,
That's going to be a big thing. But he is.
I
was
love this stuff,
predominantly a striker.
but a lot of these people aren't going to listen to us talk
That's
about
fair.
fighting in depth.
That's fair.
I like it. We can talk about that on live or something. But yes, Clint is passionate about it, which I love.
yes.
But that's my vote. So Tate.
Tate.
All right. But
3-0 Tate. Yeah, we'll
here we
see.
go. Todd, AJ, and Clint. Do you guys have mentors?
Yes, he's right here.
Same. He's right on the screen.
Yeah. Do
Todd,
I have?
Todd is my mentor.
So odd, isn't it? Well, you guys need to find a better one. I would
No.
say that I've always wanted a mentor. I guess right now, technically, I do. I've been a terrible mentee. Told you guys about the professor out in Maine, I believe. I have been terrible, dude. He has taken the time to respond to me in depth because we have to do it via email.
Yeah.
And I have not responded. But yes, I do technically. And I have one that's really willing to be involved in my life and has actually answered some really good questions of mine. And it's cool because he's outside of the state even.
Yeah.
And I just haven't, have dropped the ball on my end. So I hope that he's still, this is kind of convicting because it reminds me, I hope that he still is willing to invest in me when I respond to him. And I need to do that. And I'm asking you guys to make sure I do that.
I will make sure you do that.
I will make a note.
But the thing is, it's not because I've been ignoring him. He really has been real in my life and
Yeah.
responded real. And I want to take the time to respond real. And as you know, I'm not in charge of my schedule, it feels like. Like even now, guys, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm rushing a little bit because I am late for a meeting right now.
Right.
So I end up running around.
I get it, man.
Yeah. Anyway.
I think that was everything, though. I think that was all the questions.
Mentors are very important, though, man.
They are, dude.
And for men especially, out throughout history, men taught men. And nowadays it didn't happen often. Especially with, you look at most families, the husband is, the father's absent. So we don't even get that. Anyway. Great questions. We have some awesome articles, and this isn't just because I'm I'm late because I've already decided that we can't do that. But I will leave you with one. We talked about this a few weeks ago that the United Methodist Church has had a split.
Yes.
And in North Carolina alone, 249 churches have left the United Methodist we can't talk about. We'll talk about it later. But to let you guys know, this is going on. The United Methodist Church over homosexuality. According to a statement, the number represented 32% of their membership. Anyway, it's pretty wild, man.
Oh, yeah. It's a big deal.
It boils down to progressive leaders have refused to enforce rules against blessing same-sex union or ordaining non-celibate homosexuals. So, big deal, man. From what I've heard, and I cannot. So this, please, I almost hesitate to say it, but this is affecting local churches. We do know that for a fact. There was a visitor that came from a church where his church was voting what to do. If you remember, if you came to visit, so big stuff happening. Anyway, this is a good show, man.
I love today's show.
Love it. What you got? Anything you want to say?
Just listen, guys. Social media needs it. Share this video. Share the podcast. Whatever you're watching from, YouTube, Rumble, Facebook, Spotify, any of the sources that we put the show out on. Just share it and tell people why you're watching it, because you never know who it's going to affect, and you never know what kind of lives you could change just by sharing a simple video. So I love you guys. Thank you so much for listening. Without you guys, we wouldn't be doing this. So appreciate you. Thank you.
Amen. What do you got, Fun Turn? Anything?
If you're watching on the podcast, please do leave us a review. A 5-star review would really help us out on the business side of things. If you're just leave a little blurb in there too. It doesn't have to be too crazy. Just say that you like ibuprofen. At this point, you don't have to be crazy. I mean, you can leave us a heartfelt message. We do see them and we do appreciate
More
them.
than you know.
But we need those 5-star reviews so we can get out there and get to the top of the charts. So we really would appreciate that. If you don't got nothing nice to say and you want to give us a 1-star, we ask that you don't, and that you keep on walking down the line and you go find a different podcast. And you go find somebody you like.
There you go.
All right. Hey, I love you guys so much. We're so thankful. I know we started the show off. We're going to end with it. Thank you so much to the real ones, the Real Talk Fan Club, but also thank you to all of you that watch. He said it. When you're watching this show, yeah, we have fun, but you are. We know for a fact, we have heard countless stories of people, whose lives have been impacted for the positive by this show. I know it seems crazy because we're goobery sometimes, but that's true. God has blessed people through that, and social media does need it. I want to leave you with this, and I'm saying it to me, and I'm saying it to us. Listen, guys, sometimes when we think about God, we can think that we recognize that God is God, and he's all-powerful, and we fear him, right? And we say things like, hey, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and we think that means we kind of justify living in fear of God, but that fear, that's not fear in the sense we're thinking. It's like awe. When I stand before, the Grand Canyon, and there's that feeling in stomach where you're saying, this is bigger than me. That's the thing with God. Why am I saying all this? Because sometimes, and I know I do this, we can let ourselves view God as just this all-powerful enforcer, policeman, when the truth is that the Bible says God is love. God loves you. Everything that God feels towards you, as if you've put your faith in him, is love. He loves you. He wants good for you. He has promised to bring good for you. I don't know what that looks like. And sometimes we have such a limited perspective that when really hard things happen, we can't see the good in that. But we have to remember that if some of it's true, it's all true. And that means that God is love, which what? That isn't some kind of trick. When God says, what kind of father would give his son a rock when he asked for bread, right? If we know a good father wouldn't do that, how much more will your heavenly Father do for you? Keep asking, keep seeking, trust him, and know that he loves you. He's got this, and live free, man. He died so that we can live free and live in peace, joy, and all those beautiful things. We love you so much. Have a great day, and God bless you.